So one of my loyal Patreon supporters asked me, what questions should I ask a guy on a date? And the reason why they ask me these questions is because they feel like people lie. They feel like people only put on a fake face around them to try to get something from them, and as soon as they get it, they bounce. So these types of questions are questions you could ask that could give you a glimpse into a person's personality. You would never get the full picture until you spend enough time with them, but this gives you sort of a glimpse, and you have to be open to see things that you don't want even though you like the guy. All right, let's begin this. By the way, people, if you guys ever want to work with me one-on-one, go to mindfulattraction.org, click on the description down below. We have a 20% off all of my coaching calls by the end of this week only. All right, click on the description down below. You guys can work with me one-on-one. You guys can get some, if you guys have any questions that need to be answered, you guys can get them answered by clicking on the description down below where it says work with me. So the first question is asking them if they have a dog or a cat, right? If they have a dog, what is their dog's and cat's personality? Ask them to describe it, because those animals, especially dogs, take on the personality of the owner. If you're an anxious person, your dog will be anxious. If you're an aggressive person, your dog will be aggressive. If you're a racist person, your dog's gonna be fucking racist. It's just that simple, right? If you're a sexist person and you hate men, the dog is gonna hate men. If you hate women, your dog is gonna hate women. So that's one thing, right? Because they take on the energy of the owner, and the owner doesn't even know that. You know, a lot of people don't think about that. Another thing that you gotta ask them is, if they don't have a dog, or if they do have a dog, you ask them, if you had another pet, what would their personality be like? Because what they describe in that ideal pet will pretty much describe how they are, like the type of person that they are, and the type of vibe that they have. If they say they want a dog that's more energetic, that's more spunky, that's how they are. If they want a dog that has less energy, or that is more chilled, that doesn't go out as much, that's who they are, right? So that's a reflection of their personality. The next thing that you could ask them is, who do they admire? Who do they admire the most? Do they admire, and why do they admire them? Because that'll be a glimpse, and that'll tell you about their personality. Do they admire a woman over a man? That type of stuff matters, right? If you have a man that the person who they admire the most is a woman, that says a lot, and vice versa, right? Look into that. Everything's a sign, right? And also ask them, who do they secretly admire? Who do they admire that most people think is taboo, right? And that'll tell you a lot. For example, it could be like a weird one. Could be like, let's just say you say, I admire Hitler for his, as an example, people, fucking Christ, holy shit, as an example, right? I admire him because of his speech, his ability to speak, right? As an example, right? That's, I don't know what the fuck that says, but you know, like that kind of stuff, right? For example, some people admire Trump for his, for his bravado, right? And then that'll tell you about this person's personality. That'll tell you, that's a glimpse, right? That says a lot, right? So that's one thing. And also, who do they hate? Who do they hate the most? Ask them, who do they despise the most in life, in celebrity, in culture? Because that'll tell you about their dark side. If they hate people who are narcissistic, if they hate somebody who has a narcissistic personality, most likely they have a narcissistic personality. Why? Because there's a reason why those emotions are getting engaged. It's like, for example, I play basketball, right? And I hate people who don't pass the ball. I hate them. You wanna know why I hate them? Because when I play with them, they don't pass me the ball. So anytime I see somebody who doesn't pass who's a ball hog, I fucking hate playing with them, right? And so because of that, I'll just say, I don't want to play with you. I'll despise people who play like that, right? And that's because I want to get the ball more. I want to dribble the ball more. You see what I'm saying? So it's almost like, you usually wouldn't hate something if it's not personal to you. You usually wouldn't hate something if it's not a reflection of you, right? So you gotta, so asking somebody what do they hate, or what are the types of things that they envy in life, it will tell you indirectly about their personality. Now, asking them who do they envy in life and stuff like that, you gotta make sure they're a little tipsy, because most people wouldn't think about that, wouldn't answer that directly, because there are some questions that are too personal. The next thing is, what would you change about yourself? Right? What would you change about yourself? Now, these questions, make sure you don't ask them make sure you don't ask them like out of nowhere, right? Talk about it, right? Just say, hey, I was doing a bit trivia, blah, 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 blah. Like, find a reason to bring it up. But the point is, what would you change about yourself pretty much tells you about the things that they're trying to work on or levels of self-awareness. And you could tell whether or not the thing that they're talking about is kind of real because they might tell you something that you're like, that's not a big deal. What? For example, it's like when you're in a job interview and they say, what's your biggest flaw? And they say, I work too hard. Like, you're like, that's bullshit, right? You get what I'm saying? So it's kind of, you kind of sniff out if it's BS or not. Other things that you can ask them is, what are their regrets in life? What are they regretting in life? And this is the thing. Studies show that young people regret doing things. Older people regret not doing things, right? Asking them what they regret in life will pretty much tell you where they are in life, how they see their past, how they process things, what are the things that they regret, you know what I'm saying? Whether or not they are motivated enough, right? Regrets say a lot about how a person thinks, how a person processes the world, right? That's one thing. Asking them what they regret. Now, these questions are questions that you're never gonna get a full. So those are the types of questions you can ask. But remember, the most important thing is to not focus on a person's word. All right. These are questions, they're nice, they're interesting, but it really doesn't get at the core issue. And that's people relying on words to get to know people. Pay attention to their actions. Pay attention to the vibe that they make you feel. And also, if you feel a lot of chemistry, a lot of emotions initially, take a step back, right? Tell yourself you're feeling this chemistry. See that as a symptom of you getting blind. Keep your eyes open for contradictions. Pay more attention to the negative signs that they don't like you more than the positive. Pay more attention to red flags over good things. Remember one time I was talking to a girl, everything was well, and then she started drinking, and then she fucking threw her, and then she was like acting like she was gonna throw the phone at me, and I was like, don't fucking do it, and then she threw the phone in my face, and she was just, I'm just playing. I'm like, bitch, get the hell out of here. She's like, I'm sorry, I was just playing around. I'm like, get out of here. Get out. Like, I'm not even gonna deal with you. Get out of here. Like, the hell is your problem? Right? And she was like, I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. But I didn't even want to see any further. I didn't even want to see any further. I don't want to look, I don't want to explore this phenomenon because I don't even know you and you're already throwing shit at me. Right? Pay attention to those things. A lot of people will just see her and just say, nice poom poom, I'll forgive her. No. Pay attention to the negatives over the positives. They say a lot more about a person than the positive things. Because negative things we always try to suppress. And when they leak out, that means that's just a tip of the iceberg. And a lot of us are too naive. We think too positively about people because of our fear of being alone. And so we miss out on all of these red flags. It's nice to ask questions, but it's better to use your eyes to see what a person is doing. Because actions are harder to hide than words, all right? All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys ever want to learn how to use your feminine energy to influence people, learn how to use your masculine energy to become more assertive, and also learn how to blend both energies to improve your dating life, your spiritual life, honestly, your relationship life, your family life, your career life, this is the course for you. If I had to make a course for my nieces, I have two nieces, one is 19 and one is 15. 16. Holy shit. Oh my God, he's a bad fucking uncle. He's a bad uncle. Get him. Shut up, Melissa. You should get this course, right? And this is the course that I will make for them. So, for example, watch the curriculum, right? In the first week, we're going to be showing you how to establish a strong masculine foundation without letting it hurt your feminine energy. This masculine foundation is a source of who you are, right? It's your bodyguard. Without this, whatever feminine energy you create will be destroyed by the outside because your masculine is your shield. So we'll talk about goal setting. We'll talk about how to develop a serious attitude. We're gonna be talking about how to use more logic, how to use more goal-oriented behavior. It's more how to be a man, Now the next one is how to embrace the feminine energy, right? This one will teach you about how to minimize excessive masculine traits, developing self-awareness,
healing abundant feminine energy, regulating your emotion, mastering voice qualities and facial expressions, surrendering control, and allowing pain to be felt. This is honestly, this will supercharge, like Kaioken, your masculine energy. After that, we have femininity in the workplace and how to be feminine in the workplace without letting people take advantage of you, and the nuances of how women on power should behave versus women who are subordinates in the workplace, and even the dress code. This is based on psychology, people. It's kind of insane. I'm actually excited about this one. The next week, we talk about navigating the labyrinth of male and female friendship. And this, a lot of women find confusing, so we talk about that. And how to identify envious friends, how to identify the good friends, how to keep male friends, and how to keep female friends. Week 5, we talk about how to release the burden of the past and stop and destroy mental projections. This is actually really powerful. And then week 6, we talk about how to increase your observational power so that you could read people better. And we have a bunch of bonuses. The course starts at $99, and you guys can pre-order the course today at $69 before it goes out. If you're watching this, most likely I'm in the meditation retreat, so I will be praying for all of you guys. And just click on the description down below of the video. Right there, you'll see it, and you could pre-order that course. It's gonna be out by the end of next month or the beginning of February of March. One of the two, people, because I have a 10-day retreat to do, and I want to finish the course after the retreat, because I think the ideas are gonna be so much better. All right, man. I'll see you guys later. Pre-order, man. I'm closing the channel.